Welcome to the Sparkle Bomb Coach podcast and YouTube channel, where we bring fun and magic back to your life and business. I'm your host, Kay Decker, aka the Sparkle Bomb Coach, and I help women to connect with their soul and intuition, tap into their desires, and magnetize everything they desire in life, business, and relationships by turning on their inner sparkle. I'm so excited for you to be here. So let's sparkle! Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sparkle Bomb Coach podcast and YouTube channel. I am so excited to bring you another episode of the Sparkle Summit. And today I have Dr. Rachel Yen with me, and she's incredible. We're talking all about energy, our energy levels, and how all of that ties together with how successful and abundant we can be. And she's giving incredible tips and tools how you can do it yourself. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, you probably see that I'm recording this intro in a moving car. I just want to put it out there that my husband is driving, we're all safe, and it's all good. We're heading for another vacation, and I'm super excited. But I am so excited for you to dive into this episode, and if you love it, please take a screenshot and tag me at Decker Coaching on Instagram or Facebook and tell me what you loved about that episode. And you can also tag Rachel. I'm going to put all of her information in the description, in the show notes, and let's sparkle. And we are live on Facebook. Hello everyone. How are you? Welcome to the next day of the Sparkle Summit. So I'm just gonna double check that we are truly live. Perfect. So as you are, ladies, hopping on, I'm so excited that you are here for another day of the Sparkle Summit. And as you're hopping on, just say hi so we know that you're here with us. And if you are here for the replay, just use the hashtag Sparkle Summit or hashtag Sparkle Replay or whatever hashtag you want to. So also today it's Thanksgiving here in the US. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And I literally cannot wait to introduce you to our special guest today. We're going to have so much freaking fun. Hi, Shamika. How are you? So today we have Dr. Rachel Yen, and she is on a mission to help those who have fallen through the cracks of a broken healthcare system. Her patients are unsatisfied when their doctors tell them their labs are normal, but they don't feel normal. And they're not okay with simply taking medication for the rest of their life without ever exploring the root cause of their symptoms. And they want answers, they want truth, like we all want, and lasting healing. And Rachel studied so much, and she is so brilliant. And she has her practice in Denver, Colorado, but she also works online. And besides that, obviously, she is incredibly beautiful, incredibly successful, incredibly sexy, and just the super bomb. So I'm so excited, Rachel, that you're here with us today. Hello.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna put this on the gallery view so they can see both of us the whole time. Hi, Kelly. Also, as we're gonna go about our interview, as you guys are hopping on, just feel free to drop in, some questions. If you have some questions, we're gonna be talking about a lot of things. But Rachel, one of the things that we're doing today and throughout the whole Sparkle Summit is that we are being incredibly honest, open, raw, and sharing way too much information.
I love it. Okay.
So I'm just so freaking excited that you are here. And before we jump into your story and before how all of this even happened and you sharing your golden nuggets, I want to share the first memory of you that I had. The first time that I remember you. And I don't know if you know that or if I told you that, but it's just really funny. So Rachel and I, we're now part of the same mastermind with our mentor, but we also are part of certain programs together with our mentor. And I just remember I think it was in February, and this person shares a picture in that program, and I am looking at this picture, I'm like, oh my gosh, like we need to be best friends. And I swear to God, I had no idea how to make friends. I had this belief that people don't like me, women don't like me, Americans don't like me at all, and no one wants to be friends with me. So I didn't know what to do. So I was just like, one day we're gonna be friends. One day we're gonna be friends. One day we're gonna be friends. And then, you know, long story short, you came to my retreat and we met in person and it was so beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, we're best friends. And like, you have no choice, girl. So I just think it's so funny that like sometimes when we're adults, like we feel like, oh, I should have probably had all of my friends by now. And if I don't have my like best friends right now, there's no way I'm gonna find someone who's truly aligned with me and who I love and resonate with. And it just goes to show that that's not true.
It's so not true.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Ginger. So, oh my gosh, you have the Be Happy Now mug. Oh, I love it. Rachel's obsessed. Okay, so one of the things that is, I think, really important for everyone is that now that they see you, you're this like confident, beautiful woman. And some people know you more, some people know you less. But it's really hard probably for them to imagine that it was ever anything else or anything less than that. So I would love if you could just sort of tell us like who was Rachel Yan before you became Dr. Rachel Yan, super sexy, successful goddess.
Okay. So I think some of you will relate to this because in a group that's this high vibe, there's going to be people that are meant to be mentors, healers, caretakers, nurturers within this group of women. So within that space, there's these conflicting emotions that we can have sometimes in terms of going for our calling and having things that hold us back and pull us back. And so when I was younger, I really knew I was going to go into medicine, but I didn't know like in what capacity. So I would go intern at hospitals and veterinary clinics and emergency rooms just to see what was available in terms of healthcare. And I remember being like 15, 16 and just being like, no, this is not how I want to do it. This is not the way it should be done. And because when I was that age, my current field of functional medicine or holistic medicine wasn't really a thing yet. People that were doing it didn't really have a name for it. There was not a niche that was carved in public awareness yet. So it wasn't on the list of things that I could do. And if I would have known then, I would have just got into it, I think, but I didn't know then and had to take a long journey circuitously to eventually arrive in the space where I know what I'm doing. I know all the aspects of that and how I'm here to like be a healer or to be a leader or a mentor, whatever it is in the capacity for my patients. It took a long time. And I really thought that the moment I would graduate grad school, I would just have it all figured out, but I didn't. It took so long to figure it out. And I don't think I'm going to ever really fully figure it out. It's going to always keep evolving. And it's so much less stressful now that I'm just letting that evolve in that way.
I think you're bringing up such an interesting point because it's so easy to, again, like see you now, like, oh, she's doing this like holistic medicine approach and like, you know, like it's just like, it's normal now. Like it's normal and it's known, but when you like started or when you started having these nudges, it wasn't. And I know for a fact that there is many women who are here today and they're like, I don't know, like I have this calling, I think this is what I'm meant to do, but it's so weird and no one else is doing that. And I think just like seeing you as like, well, if you go and follow that, it might be a long journey because it doesn't exist, but it's so worth it. And I love that so much. Okay, so you graduated and what happened then? Were you like that? Like, was it all good?
Oh, no, it wasn't all good. So I think even when I was graduating grad school, I went to school to be a chiropractor. And it was my attempt to be holistic because I knew that while things like surgery were interesting to me, I was really curious about, well, does everyone need surgery, or can we attempt to fix this and give the body the best healing potential possible to try to recuperate it as much as possible. Because the moment you have surgery, it's very permanent. It's never going to go away. So I went into chiropractic to try to like go into this like root cause idea. Like, what's the root cause of people's pain? What's the root cause of people's energy being low? What's the root cause of mood disorders? I just wanted to be at the source. And so that was one avenue that I found at that time to go into that. And I was in the field for about 6 years, and then eventually moved into this broader spectrum of functional medicine. We're blending like the best stuff of modern medicine, so like lab testing and these fancy machines that are diagnostic and all this research that we've done over the years, and blending that with the traditional wisdom, the wise woman wisdom, the medicine woman wisdom of how to eat and how to prepare medicines and how to take care of yourself. And when you mesh that together, it's so yummy and it's so powerful.
I love that. And so I actually had a consultation with Rachel, and it was so like everything that she was saying, it resonated with me so much, because I don't agree personally with like just taking medications if I don't necessarily have to. And I think that is so beautiful. But also like my husband, whenever I, in the past, I would have some issue and I'd be like, no, I'm just gonna like kind of do it myself. But I didn't know what I was doing. So I understand that he was concerned. But it was just like, it's so nice that you combine like, okay, this is the science part, but also like this is the, ancient wisdom part. And when they come together, like it's pretty transparent and it works.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so before we jump into everything that you're doing and how incredible you are and like all of that, I want to also get a little bit more personal with you. And because I know some parts of your story, so I hope that's okay that I ask, but I know that you are now a very successful doctor. And I know that we also had a conversation when you shared that it wasn't always there. And the reason why I'm asking is because often women come to me, it's like, I have so much information. I know all of these things. I have the degree. I have all of that. But like, I am not making as much money. And that's one thing. Or then there's a second category of women who are like, I don't have all of that knowledge, and that means that it's impossible for me to ever be successful. And I would love to know, like, I would like to know how it was, like, and then what happened to completely change that.
So in terms of my story, there were two important pieces that were lacking for a really, really long time and resulted in me not being the field that I wanted to be in, really, truly, and working with partners that I really didn't feel aligned to, whether it was their like practice philosophy or their business philosophy. And so the first one of those is that I didn't feel safe being a healer in a body of a woman. And this was brought to a lot more clarity as I started to meet more people like myself, whether they were in the coaching space, the medicine space, any kind of healing, like when you just heal people, when you nourish people. And that, we're very lucky. It's just such an exciting time to be a woman right now, a woman in the professional space, a woman in the transformational space. But it wasn't always this easy in this world to be that as a woman, to be a leader as a woman, to be a healer as a woman. And even, not that long ago, if you were a healer and you're a woman, you might be called a witch and you might be like killed for it.
Yeah.
Right? So,
true.
I think when we start to go a little bit deeper into healing, a little bit deeper into like generationally what we pick up and the fears that we can pick up that comes from our ancestors, like it can come from situations or wars or trauma or famine, things like that we don't have now, but there is genetic memory in that. And I think as we try to understand ourselves so that we become more effective for other people, I think it's really important to honor that piece. Because if we ignore it, we might not understand sort of these deep root like fears that we might have to go explore and heal for ourselves before we become effective in this world.
So basically all of that was just based really on fear, and the biggest shift for you to go from there to where you are now was just working through fear.
Working through fear, acknowledging it, understanding it, and
Mm.
also just like being okay with how privileged we are now. Like being okay with the fact that like now we can speak up and we're not going to just get stoned or something, right? We can speak up and not be ostracized. We can speak up and find our tribe, our people. And it's not always been that way. And I think sometimes we can be paralyzed from either past genetic trauma or just from feeling like, well, I have it so easy now. Like, why am I not more successful? Or why am I not more ahead? Because we understand that we have a different situation now than women did 100 years ago or 300 years ago, right?
I love that. Oh my gosh, so many good points. And also, I had a thought and it just flew away, but that happens sometimes. It's okay. Yeah, so many good points. And I feel like when we start also overthinking, like, oh, I should not be here, I should already be there, then it just like compounds those negative emotions. It's really hard to express ourselves. And also for all of you who are watching and you see this like beautiful, confident woman talking about this, like, I don't know if you can feel the energy, but I just feel this like every time that I'm in your energy, I just feel like so calm and so soothed, and like I can do anything with Rachel, everything is possible. Like, and it's so great. And it's really hard for me to imagine that like you were ever shy or maybe a little bit on the quiet side. And it's just so fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love that. So anything is possible. And I think from all of the women that we have brought during the Sparkle Summit, like if you haven't caught it by now, I would just focus on Rachel and see like what's going on there. And you'll see the difference between what happens. So anyway, I love it. Okay. So now if you could tell me a little bit more about what do you do now? And I think it's really funny that we're here on Thanksgiving. And if you are, I see women watching and saying happy Thanksgiving and hi and everything. So if you are guys here, ladies here, watching on Thanksgiving, and we're going to be talking about some things that will trigger you, maybe don't think about it today. It's okay if you move it for tomorrow, but I'm so excited. Okay, so Rachel, can you tell us a little bit more about what do you do now, and like how does it look like, and everything or anything that you feel compelled to share?
So I'm going to tell it to you the way that not a lot of people know. So when you look at a business, when you look at what someone offers to you, you're really at the end of whatever they're selling you or whatever they're helping you learn or teaching you. At the end of all of that, what you're really purchasing, what you're opting into, and what you're saying yes to is to feel better, to feel good, to feel satisfied, to feel comfort, to feel safe. And so at the end of it are these emotions and the need for well-being and the need to know that you're making progress forward. And so there's so many routes to get there in life. You can do coaching, you can go to seminars, you can go to retreats, you can read books, you can listen to audio tapes. There's so many ways these days that you can achieve these things, which is why I think humans are always seeking for that, especially now when there's a lot of, like, it's so trendy to go into self-development. It's trendy to go on a personal retreat. Like back then, if our grandparents did that, I think people would have thought they were totally crazy, right? Just like, what are you doing? Just raise your kids, And now there's so many other life goals than there used to be, even just a couple generations back. The things that we want at our age are completely different than what our grandparents wanted at our age.
Yeah.
And so part of my goal and my job is I'm bringing people to these dreams through a medical route. So, some people, you hear about their incredible journeys, like they quit their job, they go to the Amazon forest, they're there for 3 years, they come back transformed. Some people go on yoga journeys. So there's a lot of ways to journey inwards. And my goal is to provide this journeying through a medical sense because it's so powerful. Because once you start to change one little thing about your health, it domino effects into every piece of your life. It can't stop short anywhere. And so for me, it's the fastest, most powerful whole body way to make change in your life, to shift your thinking, to shift who you are, to shift into yourself, to shift into your mission. I think it's the fastest way to do it, which is why I play in this space. So, and I think it also helps heal the world too, because we've had a lot of wounding within medicine, a lot of patients who have been overlooked, overheard, kind of gotten trampled through the system, been invisible, been hurt by doctors. There's so much wounding within the medical space, especially in a woman's body, that I think it's just good karma to go in and transform that from the medical space, you know?
I get chills on my butt. The ladies who've been here for a couple of days, they know that when I get chills on my butt, it's good. It's really good.
Nice.
And one of the things I want to say and like, you know, and point out is, one, I actually I contacted you and we had this like conversation together about like health and everything, and I wasn't able at that time to like proceed further, but what we did is that I got some supplements from you because you were so sweet and because you probably like me and all of that. And the funny thing is that I started taking this, like my husband calls it syrup. He calls it $1 million syrup.
Oh my God.
So funny. And like I just started doing that because it was for like detoxification. Oh my gosh, that's why I'm not a doctor. And what I've noticed in a couple of days is that my skin really cleared up. And what that transformed into is that I felt so much more confident, and I was like, oh, I don't have to wear makeup all the time. And then another thing, like I had some troubles with like sleep and waking up. And once I started, you know, like by your suggestions, doing certain things and like using certain supplements, I wake up more rested and I feel so much better. And then that gives me energy to go and actually like go for my dreams. And it's just these, you know, even if it's like tiny changes, or when you came to my retreat and you said like, oh, I just have one thing, I would ask that you guys don't use any like chemical fragrances and all of that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I doing to myself? Like with all of these like, you know, things. And it's just like bringing these tiny little steps already, like I can see it, how that shifts and how that shifts our energy and our confidence, and how that can help to believe in ourselves that we can do it, that we can do whatever we want. So I absolutely love that you do that in a completely different way.
Yeah, I love that. And I like that you gave this example, because what I'm going to do now is, from a doctor's lens, tell you what that supplement did for you, because it's so cool.
Okay. Yeah.
So what you like experienced was like your skin cleared up, and then that made you more confident, and you started sleeping better and waking better. So that's incredible. So the supplement I gave you was just a detox supplement, and detox is also kind of a trendy thing that people do these days, but humans have been doing it forever traditionally. And the weird thing is now we have way more chemicals that we're exposed to in our food, air, and water, like 80,000 new man-made chemicals since the Industrial Revolution. So a lot of stuff.
Oh my God.
You literally can't go anywhere in the world without being exposed to something. So we have so much more exposure, but we don't clear it out. We don't help our bodies, assist our bodies to detox it out. Whereas in the past, we always did. And so we just gave you one supplement that helps your liver with detox. And this is huge because I think a lot of, like, as women, we spend a lot of time making ourselves look healthy, whether it's like our skin, our complexion, you know, like dark circles in our eyes. But that's great. And I'm glad that we have these tools. But if all your attention is spent on like the makeup aspect of it, but you don't know how to detox yourself and your liver is really congested, you're going to always have an underlying skin issue. You're going to always have an underlying fatigue issue because it's just building up. So we just kind of gave you some support for that. And then if your skin clears up, that just means that you got to just take some trash out. And if that happens,
oh yeah,
you're going to get a much better repercussion.
It went out.
And then when you start thinking better, yeah, that's true, because your liver is like detoxing you all day long. It's helping you take the trash out. If it gets a little bit of a boost in that, it's kind of like if your cup is filling up with more and more crap, you just took a load off. You took another section off. You poured some out. And so that's all that happens. And of course your mood goes up because your body's like, thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And one other thing we were just sort of like chatting about it, that you're kind of like diving into like even deeper and taking it even further with like all like energy and what is like the energy of the things that we are, I don't know if I remember it right, by the way, but like the energy of the things that we're putting in ourselves and like combining that into like maybe going in even deeper. And for me, since I am quite spiritual, as it happens sometimes, I like really started paying attention to all of these things. And even, like when buying a crystal, I'm like, wonder who like touched that and like how it was like, brought up. Or even like, yesterday I was talking to this incredible woman, and she was like, well, like how much you eat organic and like what happens, to our meats. And like, it's just like, it blew my mind. Anyway, if you could like sort of like explain it a little bit better than what I did, and why are you diving into this?
Yeah, so health, I think most people in America, because that's my patient base for the most part, we're lulled into thinking that we don't need to do anything until it gets bad. And so we go to the doctor for an annual physical. It's normal, it's fine, it's normal. And then suddenly, oh my gosh, you're not normal anymore. Here's some medication. That's literally all we have. So we have like, we don't know anything. And then suddenly we have medication. And then that medication oftentimes has side effects. And then we stack more medication to help fix that medication. And then it becomes a whole hot mess. So within holistic medicine, I think we have to untrain people out of that. Like we want a one trick fix. We want one pill, done. We want one diet, done. We want one superfood, and we're healthy.
We want kale. That's what Zach, my husband, did. Like, I'm eating kale, I'm healthy.
and adding those little pieces can be so awesome. And adding those little pieces are part of you showing your body that you're committed, right? When you take little steps, you prove to your body that you're doing what you want, and that creates safety for your body. And within safety, you can heal. And so when you start attracting things into your body, so let's say things that you eat, if you're going to just eat something maybe really low vibe, like fast food is a great example of that, really, really low vibe, really cheap food, like a $99 burger, like a 99-cent burger. Like, what the heck? Like, how bad does your food have to be to cost $1? It makes no sense. And then you start to track the food and where it came from, the sourcing, and how they grew it, and how the food was treated, and what kind of chemicals were put into it, and how many injections that happened, and how many chemicals had to raise it. Like, that is so bad energy. It's bad for you. It's bad for the people that were in the industry. It's unsustainable for the earth. And so at the core of it is that we have to just take a step back and like pause a little bit and just take a look and take a look within yourself. Like, how does it feel for me? Take a look for what it's impacting other people, and understand that it doesn't just arrive in a package. Like, there's so much that comes into what's in front of you, and there's going to be so much impact after you eat it too.
I love that. And I'm very, very, very sensitive. Since I moved to the US, I'm very sensitive to what I eat, and I just did not understand that like all of these things really matter. And when we lived in Texas and Oklahoma, it was actually really challenging for me, because that was the time when I started feeling like really bad. And I was trying to switch into at least like, little steps, little changes, kale, here and there, and like some of these things. But first of all, it was incredibly exhaustive, and it was really hard. But at the same time, whenever I did have the chance to do something better, like at least a step better, I would feel it. Like, I would feel like, oh, I'm not this tired, I'm not as bloated. And I think sometimes when people get scared is when they, hear someone like, this is the ideal scenario, this is how it should be. And they're at the beginning, maybe with the 99-cent burger, because sometimes that happens. It gets scary for them. Like, how do I transition? This is going to be so difficult. This is going to be so hard. So what would be your suggestion for the person who is like totally at the beginning, here's this for the first, second time, now it's hitting home, wants to make the first changes? What would you suggest them to focus on?
The beginning is the hardest for most people, because you have a lot of aspects of your life that have been learned in a way that's not serving you anymore. Right. So however that habit came on, oftentimes they're passed from our family, how our parents raised us. They can be limited financially by what was available to you, what you can get access to. So there's a lot of different parts that come into this health thing, which is again why when you start to get success in this, it transforms so many parts of your life, right? So in the beginning, it is the hardest because you're dealing with belief systems, you're dealing with habits, so things that you do on autopilot, you're dealing with a body, a brain, a gut that is probably not set up to make you happy. It's probably not set up in a way that makes you feel good. It's not set up in a way that's going to make you feel vibrant, successful, like you've got it. Because when you're eating poorly, you literally have in your system now, you've changed, like transformed the good gut bacteria that should be living in your gut into the ones that are not so good. Because if you're eating crap, if you're eating bad food, you need kind of aggressive thug-like bacteria to handle that stuff. Like if you're eating chemicals, you literally will start to attract and grow nastier bacteria within your gut to break that down because it's not good for you. It's not healthy for you. And so when you start to attract that, then you can start to get more inflammation in your gut and your brain. And these guys are totally linked. And when you look at things like your happy hormones, like serotonin, right? 90% of that is made in your gut. So that means if you're eating poorly and you have gut symptoms like bloating, constipation, diarrhea, gas, heartburn, like any of those little pesky things in any combination and any amount, all that means is you're not operating ideally. And therefore your serotonin, your happy hormone, which keeps everything like, right, sparkly up top, that's going to be depressed in some way, guaranteed. And so that means your base setting in terms of how you feel, your mood, your clarity, your ability to multitask, your ability to push your business forward, your ability to like be different personalities in different parts of your life and to really be there fully, that's already cut off. And so to start to transform that in the beginning, there's a lot of things to work through. But the good news is once you get your foot in the door and you do one little change, whether it's just ending a certain food that you know it's not good for you, right? You're not gonna have a debate with anyone whether Coke is good for you or not. You just know it's not good. And so if you just start to end one thing, that'll usually give you like the impetus or the energy or the confidence or like the like I did itness to do the next step. And the next step might give you more energy and have you fed better and now you like sleep better. And so it snowballs in a good direction or in a bad direction.
I love that.
You got to build the snowball. You got to start packing it small before it becomes huge.
I love that. And also like one huge part of like, so as we were talking about like eating bad, I remembered my evenings still like back in the Czech Republic. So I was working with like healthy stuff, but also I felt so like guilty. And like I made a shift, like cold turkey shift. And then I was like, I could not handle it. So what would happen is that I would binge eat so much chocolate and so much like a gross stuff that I would like then throw up. And so that's maybe it's good and better to go step by step than cut, sometimes cold turkey. But anyway, I love that. And another thing that came up as you were talking is that, it really comes down to loving ourselves and like doing that for ourselves. Because if we like, what it really helped me was shifting like, well, I like myself and I kind of want to be around for a long time. And I want to have the best quality of my life that I possibly can when I see it as possible. So yeah, I think that's also a good shift. And like seeing it as, I'm going to do this because someone said so. I got to do this because whatever. But like, I'm going to do it because I love myself and I'm going to try. And at some point it's going to work. So yeah, I love that. Yeah. Okay, so now what about the people who are like, okay, I'm doing quite a bit of stuff, but I want to take it like further. Like I'm all in, I want all of this. What would be your suggestion or what would be their next step?
So for people that are already like they're energetically all in, which means whatever it takes. They've got the whatever it takes attitude when it comes to any area, but we're talking about health here. then they're someone that I would consider working with as a patient. And so that's literally one of the only prerequisites for me as I am interviewing patients as they come into my space, is not necessarily like how impressive your diet is, or like what blogs you've read, what books you've read. Like that's all very helpful and it shows that you're working on it. But for me, the thing is that you want it. You just want it. Because when you go into the space of healing, it's not going to be a one diet fix it all. It's not going to just be, here's one magical supplement, you did it, you know. And for some people it might be that easy, but oftentimes it's not anymore, just because of how complicated our environment is these days, again, with all the chemicals in the air and genetically what's been passed down to us. We've had more and more generations of parents and grandparents that ate less and less well over the decades, and that also comes and now yields babies and kids and millennials that are also not that genetically strong.
Yeah.
Right? And so we've got more issues to work on now, I think, than ever, because we just have so many things compounded on top of like habits and how convenient bad eating is, and like how, you know, long hours are really like, oh, good job. And there's so many things now that makes a patient more complicated. And so the biggest thing for me is someone who just wants to do it, because it's going to be an all-around approach. Not only are you going to run a bunch of labs, you're going to look at your hormones and your stress levels and how they're impacting you and your female hormones. So is it time to get pregnant, or is it time to heal first, then get pregnant? Right? These are some critical questions that we don't think about. We just like, oh, we got pregnant, guess I should start taking a multivitamin. Like, it's not that simple if you really want to start reversing the trend of genetically passing down bad stuff to your kids, right?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing, is that people that are ready, like they want more information, they want clarity, they've got the they just need to know what direction to go. That's when functional medicine is super powerful, because you can get all these great labs that normally your doctor might not order for you, or an insurance company might not approve for you. Now you have an arsenal of info. Now you go and you do it.
Ooh, I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, so now that people are like, okay, no, first, is there something else that like we didn't cover and you feel like this would be completely helpful? This is something I really want to share. I think it could really help someone or some part of your story.
So something that I've been working on myself, as you know, as a healthcare professional, as someone who is in the public space, the public eye, it's like anything that you do these days, it's very fascinating, because I think when our grandparents were doctors, like they weren't, you know, they didn't have Facebook, but if they did, I don't know if they would be on it. Doing so much like this. It's just so different to like how you can run your professional space in the public eye. And something I've been working on big time has been being seen and speaking and talking from a space of, I think of the medicine that I do as a bit renegade. Like, I don't like working with insurance companies because they don't give me the labs that I want, and they think they don't think you're sick enough to get it, but I think you should get it because you should know. And so it's kind of like, sometimes I'm still just kind of like, oh my gosh. I feel a little exposed. I feel like I'm doing things that are a little avant-garde, a little different, a little renegade, a little rebellious. And I think people that are like kind of stuck between like, this is the mold, and then this is how I really want to do it. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. Eventually you're going to have to honor yourself, or you're going to be miserable. You're going to be so sad. And I was sad for a number of years, because I was just so in the mold that I didn't want to step out and do things in a brave way, in a way that would actually be effective. I wanted to just stay in what was created, what was safe, what was normal. And that's okay too, but that wasn't okay for me. And I feel like people that will be listening to this, people that you attract, are also probably people that don't want to be 100% normal and 100% in the mold. And we just have to reinvent our own molds.
Yep.
So that we can express. No. And so whatever field you're in, I think it applies. And sometimes I think with fields as old as medicine, with, you know, Western medicine these days, it's really hard to pull out of the mold. It feels a little bit unsafe. And it's a little niche still, I think. But It's so good for the soul.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And also then if you know, listeners are wanting to do something outside of the regular, what is it that you want to completely like dive into your health and do that? Just go for it. Find yourself someone who's doing that, who's walking the talk, who actually is doing that, because it's going to be so much easier to explain what's going on, or like just like state your course. So we have a question from Jen, and she's asking, do you take patients who have chronic problems such as stage 3 to 4 kidney disease?
It depends. It's a case by case scenario. It would depend. Yeah.
Okay. I would
definitely, on a number of things.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest you connecting with Rachel and doing it one-to-one and have this conversation. Okay, well, now, Rachel, everyone is probably in love with you and obsessed with you, and they're like, I want to be in vibes of Dr. Rachel Yan too, and I want to throw money at her. I want to calibrate to her health. Where can they go? What do you got going on?
Yeah, so there's a few different levels of working with me, just like I think with any coach or health professional. And so there's an entry level, it's to do what we call do-it-yourself labs. And a big thing that I hear from patients that come into me is that they're just like, my doctor said my labs are normal, or they didn't order the labs that I wanted and needed. And insurance wouldn't cover it, so I couldn't get it. I couldn't find a way to get it. And for someone who's proactive and really wants to know and they want clarity, that could feel like you're handcuffed, like you don't have any options. And so with the do-it-yourself labs, what I've done is just offered the best cutting edge labs that most people actually need. So like hormone testing. I think women should get hormone testing every 5 years because our hormones change, especially if you want kids someday. Like, what are you gonna do? Don't wait until like the month of to like, all right, I'm ready. Like it takes time to go into that. If you have weird periods, if you have awful acne, like don't just be sad. Like you can find out why that's the case.
Are you calling me out on the period thing?
Maybe.
Working on it.
And so that's the first piece. You can get whether it's a gut test, you've got gut issues, you don't know what's going on there, your GI doctor is not helping you, they just gave you medication, or hormone testing, blood chemistry, you think your thyroid's off, your metabolism is weird, you can't lose weight, your diets don't work. So whatever category it is, those labs are available right now, and you can get more information than you've ever gotten with a normal doctor. So that's the first thing. And those one-off labs are really great because you can get the lab, have a consult with me, and get started and just work on one little piece first.
I love that.
Just start focusing on that piece, right?
Sorry, I got something in my eye, but keep going.
So that's the first kind of entry level way to work with me. I also run programs. So there's a detox program that I also offer, which helps people start to learn how to do a healthy, non-traumatic, medically monitored detoxification so that you can start to help support your body in the process of cleaning house and the process of just taking time, like sacred time away from your normal busy year to go into, this is my time for healing, right? So there's also detox programs that I run. And then at the higher level, we have immersive retreats or one-on-one patients. And so immersive retreats, I'm running my first distance or going and traveling retreat. So I guess it's a location retreat in January, which I'm so excited about. We're going to New Mexico and to the Ojo Caliente Resort and Spa, which is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous hot spa and hot springs retreat. And it's going to be a 3-day weekend of just immersive body, soul, spirit work, botanical spa treatments, soaking in the waters, and ceremonial time at night. So cacao ceremony, breathwork ceremony, essential oil ceremony. So really going into head to toe, inside, outside, all experiential healing, which I'm really excited about.
Oh my God.
And at the top is one-on-one coaching, medical coaching. You're basically my patient, and we go deep dive everything. And then I want you to walk out thinking, feeling, breathing hormonally a completely different person.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And that can be, even the one-on-one patients, that can be done online, right?
Yeah.
if people don't live in Colorado.
Yep.
Or don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so perfect. Okay, you guys, so if one or all of it sounds as amazing to you as it sounds amazing to me, we will put all of Rachel's links and everything. So just like get on that, message her, don't wait. Now when you feel the pull, go and follow it. Don't make it harder on yourself by waiting. Waiting never really helped me with anything. So yes. And okay, everyone says like, oh, Dr. Rachel vibes. Everyone says, okay, I love that. I love that. I love that. And I honestly wish I could go to that retreat, but we're on a vacation. So I'll just retreat myself, and I'll retreat myself with you later.
Yeah.
Okay, now the cherry on top. So Rachel was so generous and decided to actually give away something incredible to one lucky winner. And I literally wish I could be on the list and win that myself as well. I want to win all the things. But if you could tell us, what is this person going to win?
So one super lucky, sparkly person is going to win the detox course. I know.
It's insane, you guys. Like all of the prices have been amazing, but like this is like freaking amazing. Like, are you kidding? Oh my gosh. Okay. This is so super exciting. Okay, I love you all so much. I love you, Rachel. Happy Thanksgiving. And I love all of you guys watching. And I will see you guys for another day of the Sparkle Summit tomorrow, which I'm super excited. And I will see you later, Rachel, soon. Bye, everyone.